Tonight, tributes flow for a teacher who died on a charity bike ride. Construction begins on a new commuter car park at Thirroul. And calls for a new security fence for a Wollongong school. Good evening, I'm Karen Johnston.
I'm Jeff Phillips. Also tonight, the Illawarra's growing obesity rate.
And a man's unusual way of celebrating his 95th birthday.
Illawarra Christian School is tonight mourning the loss of one of its teachers who died while taking part in a charity bike ride. While leading a group of students, Graham Best fell over a guardrail on the Hume Highway and died later in hospital. Today, students were offered counselling as they tried to comprehend the news. Still ahead on Win News, a stricken surfer left for an hour before help arrived.
And hours of hard work pays off for participants at the Scale Model Show in Berkeley. Welcome back. A surfer was left stranded on the beach for an hour after he found himself in trouble at Port Kembla this morning. The 64-year-old was surfing alone at Oilies Beach when he fell and tore his hamstring. He was yelling for help for an hour before another surfer came to the man's aid. Paramedics were called and, with the assistance of fire and rescue, were able to carry the man to a waiting ambulance. The surfer keeping his sense of humour throughout the ordeal.
Yeah, they said I've been back in the water in 6 weeks.
The patient was conscious all the time. He'd had an hour to deal with his condition by the time he raised the alarm.
Emergency services are advising surfers not to surf alone.
More than 150 people have marched through the streets of Wollongong protesting against federal government cuts. The annual May Day march called for change with a focus on jobs for young people. Sport is next with Amy and mixed results for St George Illawarra representative players.
There were, Jeff. The country boys shone while Josh Dugan was left injured in the Kangaroos' loss. Also a big occasion for a young Illawarra hockey star, and the Illawarriors finally get their hands on the Caldwell Cup.
This Sports Report brought to you by Bunnings Warehouse, where the lowest prices are just the beginning.
In sport, hosting this year's Country Rugby Championships at Bowral Rugby Club, the Illawarriors have broken through for a history-making win. Leading from the start, Illawarra outclassed Newcastle in a mud bath at Eridge Park. And that is Monday Sport, Jeff.
You know, rugby players like those muddy conditions, don't they?
Sure was wet.
Speaking of wet, the weather conditions are coming up next.
A Current Affair is next on Gem.
A mainly fine, cool day today, and according to the Bureau of Meteorology, for all the tennis players, golfers and lawn bowlers, tomorrow should be a carbon copy, so get out there and enjoy the autumn weather. On the satellite tonight, low cloud along the New South Wales coast and ranges near a weakening low pressure trough is beginning to break up. Generally clear skies elsewhere under a building ridge of high pressure. Moving on to the synoptic chart, a strong cold front will cause potentially damaging winds, showers and thunderstorms across parts of South Australia, Victoria and southern New South Wales. Strong and warm northerlies will filter over New South Wales ahead of the front, while cool southerly winds will bring showers to coastal WA, while a high keeps elsewhere dry. Now, temperature-wise today, Wollongong 17 to 22 degrees, Bowral 11 to 20, Nowra Reach 22, Ulladulla 20, Batemans Bay 22. It was 20 degrees in Maria, 16 to 18 in Narooma, Bega 22, 20 in Merimbula, Eden 13 to 21. The forecast for the Illawarra on the Highlands, areas of early morning fog ahead of a sunny day with northwesterly winds up to 45 kilometres an hour in the early afternoon. For the south coast, areas of morning fog clearing to a mostly sunny day, westerly winds up to 50 kilometres an hour in the early afternoon. So tomorrow morning's the best time of the day. Seas running at 2 to 3 metres on a 1.5 metre swell. The first tide tomorrow is a low at 1 minute past 3. The high comes rolling in just before 9. Temperature-wise, Eden 24, Merimbula 25, the same for Bega, a couple of 24s for Narooma and Maria, 25 for Batemans Bay and Ulladulla, Nowra 26, 21 in Bowral, Wollongong 17 to 25. And looking further ahead, the good news is, after all the rain, mainly fine conditions Wednesday, Thursday and Friday.
Finally tonight, more than 20 teams went head-to-head at the 2015 Fire and Rescue New South Wales Regional Firefighter Championships in Cootamundra.
And that is Win News for Monday the 4th of April.
To view some of our reports, visit the Win News Illawarra Facebook page.
Join us for the All Australian News at midnight and again tomorrow for the best 90 minutes of news from 6. Good night.
Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Win, Australia's #1 regional television network.